My name is Scott Appleby. I'm Director of Emergency Management, Homeland Security here for the City of Bridgeport. We're here to provide some information on an unfortunate incident that that obviously is felt community-wide. What we're going to do is you're going to have statements from Chief Perez, and you're going to be followed by statements from Captain Fitzgerald, who's obviously the Detective Bureau is in charge of this investigation. And then we're going to allow the family to, come up and say a few words as well. But I want to turn it over first to Chief Perez.
Good afternoon. I would just like to start by saying, on behalf of the Bridgeport Police Department, I want to express our condolences to the family of Jose Nunez. This is the tragic incident that is felt throughout the entire community. We cannot imagine the tremendous loss that Jose's family and friends are feeling at this time. As a father, I don't have words to express. The Bridgeport Police Department Detective Bureau outdid themselves. They did a great job. I'll let Captain Fitzgerald on it. I am very proud of my Detective Bureau, my men and women of the Bridgeport Police Department, officers that were involved, and we were able to solve this rather quickly and hopefully bring some closure to the family. There'll be other statements at a later time. Captain?
Good afternoon. I'll give you a timeline of the events as they developed for the Bridgeport Police Department's involvement in this investigation. So on the morning of July 28th at 8:55 in the morning to be exact, our police officers took an initial report of a missing person of a 14-year-old Jose Nunez, whose mom was reporting him missing. That followed our standard protocol and procedure. That information was entered into our system, and he was entered into NCIC, which is a National Crime Database, as a missing person. In the afternoon of the 28th, information was relayed to our detectives of the possibility of a homicide that had occurred in Bridgeport, with a body being dumped outside of Bridgeport, and at that time an unknown location. We interviewed somebody who provided us with information. That information was somewhat corroborated at that time, but on the 28th we were unaware of a location and were unable to confirm that a homicide had in fact occurred, and if it did occur, that it was Jose Nunez. Yesterday, on the 29th, we worked the case throughout the day, and through investigative measures, we're able to develop more information that further corroborated that a homicide may have occurred. That led us to a suburban area in Oxford, Connecticut. We ultimately did locate the body of a young deceased male who, through additional investigative measures, we determined to be Jose Nunez. Throughout the course of the investigation, we had been closely surveilling a person of interest. That person was observed at the scene of the body yesterday afternoon, and he was taken into custody by Bridgeport Police detectives, members of federal task forces, and FBI agents on Route 67 in Oxford. He was interviewed by detectives last night. His name is Diante Willoughby of Bridgeport. He's 20 years old, and he made admissions to his involvement in the death of Mr. Nunez. Last night he was charged by Bridgeport Police with murder, and he'll be presented in court, if he hasn't already, this morning for arraignment. The case is still very active. We have a lot of additional work to do to build a timeline on the events of what happened, and we're going to continue to do that in the coming days and weeks.
Can you confirm that this encounter between them, that there was something of a sexual nature? Everybody's hinting at it, but we need to hear that it was a sex crime.
Yes, it was.
That's something that we're working on right now. We still have a lot of investigative work to do as far as going through social media, going through the cell phone of the accused, And we're hoping that once we're able to do that and speak to additional people, that we can get more information.
And was he a police explorer?
He was.
And there's some connections between some people on social media, between him and the victim and other people. Are there other crimes or potential crimes that will be investigated since event?
There are other crimes that are going to be investigated. Like I said, we're so early in the investigation. We really got deep into this case on Tuesday afternoon and yesterday, so our detectives still have a lot of work to do.
Could you explain the manner in which young Jose was murdered?
So autopsy was completed this morning. Our detectives are still up there. Based on statements that we took from the offender last night and the appearance of the crime scene, we're confident in saying that the cause of death was homicide. Manner of death will be determined at autopsy.
Do you know how they came to be together? How the victim came to be in custody of this person?
They've previously known each other. It's our understanding that the victim and the offender have known each other for several months. We're still working to build a timeline on how they ended up together late Monday.
Captain Fitzgerald, the family says that they had complained to police before about Mr. Willoughby. In fact, he had contacted their 12-year-old son through social media as well. Can you confirm that they had reached out to you in the past?
I checked. I went inside after I heard that because it was the first I did hear of that. We have nothing in our record system to indicate that Mr. Willoughby was presented to us as somebody who may be involved in sex crimes. It's my understanding that complaints may have been made to other agencies, and we're looking into that.
But he had no record.
He did not.
Is there a scene still at Wyant Road in Oxford, or is that cleared?
We cleared the scene last night.
Did he admit to you that he was the only one involved, or did he say there were others involved?
It's still an open investigation. I can't comment on that.
I think it's both and helps them.
Would you step up to the microphone?
Okay.
Would you guys mind?
Can you?
Yeah, so,
Any other questions for me? Or? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
okay, at this time, we like to have, if one of the family members would like to speak at this time.
The dad goes,
Just identify yourself, guys.
I'm Carmen Velez, his mother, Jose's mother.
nothing.
And the grandmother.
Eugenio Campos, the father.
She can't talk. Can you talk for her, please? She can't talk. What's his name? She's gonna talk.
Just spell, your first and last name.
Okay, my name is Eugenio Campos, Higinio, Campos, Campos. And I just want to warn parents of the horrifying social media, Snapchat, which deletes everything, and I couldn't find information needed to prove things. And I respect all the offers, and I'm very grateful for y'all, and I know y'all doing your part. You guys are beautiful people. There just needs to be an easier process. Like when I say a verbal complaint to an officer, he turned his camera on. I said, I know where my son is. He's with this guy, and then he gave me a yellow piece of paper, but it was too late. And then when I called the detectives, they were sending to voicemails. It was time being wasted. It needs to be easier to find. If I tell you this guy got my kid, just go check it out. That's it, just check it out. Just say, excuse me, sir, is everything all right? Somebody told me some bad things about you, and just check them out, that's it. If they would have just did that, it probably would have went by a lot faster. But they did use my information eventually because they caught him and found him because I was contacting them and telling them the guy deleted the Facebook. That was suspect right there.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear to all parents. Please take care of your kids with the phones. You might be watching TV, you might be playing your game, and then by the time you go up them stairs, they already deleted everything. I used to tell my son after he does his chores, he can get his phone, 10 o'clock, give me the phone back, so I can actually keep an eye on him. But then he still was managing, these people were able to get to him through Snapchat and lure him in, lure him right out of my house. I woke up with my door wide open. Woke up 5 in the morning, my door wide open, and my son missing. It wasn't the first time he ran away, but not like that, with the door wide open, and he would come right back. I knew something was wrong, and I told the officer, and he's a great man, but and it's not his fault. But the process of, if I say, hey, I think this guy got my son, don't give me a yellow piece of paper and then tell me to go over here to go waste more time. Just to take my word. I mean, ain't we paying taxes or something like that? Like, that's my boy. That's my boy. It probably could have been prevented if we would have, because I think my son signed into a Netflix account, and I believe my son left willingly, probably, or something, I believe. And then the guy was tricking him the whole time. Older guys can easily manipulate children. Take care of your children, please.
Social media.
And this Snapchat is a problem, okay? And I know everybody doesn't like Donald Trump, but he's the only one worried about pedophile and stuff. And I want to thank him for digging into that. And I know, like I said, people don't like him, but he's the only one that cares about that. And I just want to make that, I want to say thank you to Mr. Donald Trump. Thank you to Fox News for always telling the truth. That's all I have to say. Channel 12, thank you as well.
And 7.
Chief, can we ask you to respond to his assertion that he was handed a yellow piece of paper by an officer, and what he says needs to be an easier process?
Yeah, I can feel the tremendous pain that the family is feeling. I don't really have a lot of information other than what Captain Fitzgerald so stated. I'll look into it, personally look into it. I have Assistant Chief Rebecca Garcia with me here, and we'll definitely, I'll give you my word that I'll look into it for you. Okay? I'm so sorry that this happened. It's still an active investigation. There's a lot of moving pieces.
And, sir, the dad, can we just ask you just one more quick question?
Yes, sir.
In front of the microphone.
Yes, sir.
You said that this same man, the murder suspect, tried to lure a younger son of yours out?
Yes.
Tell us about that. And you believe it was sexual?
This guy been in contact, because we told you guys, not with a yellow piece of paper, but verbally about him. So this is not the first time, the guy had incidents with my kid. My kid.
Who are you?
What happened? Oh, so. Yeah. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
So your younger son.
Yeah, he got approached. So my older son was getting money from the guy, because the guy, obviously you got to warm up to somebody before you get to him. And he was giving my son money little by little in the corner store from my house. One day, my girlfriend caught the kids at the corner with a red car, and that was him giving my son money. Then he attempted to give my 12-year-old $50 and a hug. And then my son told me, I ran. I was like, ew, no. And he ran back home. And he asked my son, I don't want to say, but like penis pics, my 12-year-old on Snapchat. And my son immediately deleted him and blocked him. And he told me, but there was no way to prove it, because Snapchat deletes everything. And I just want parents to pay attention to kids of all ages. I wouldn't give a kid a phone until they're 18, if you ask me. And even then, it's still dangerous.
Nino, can you say how much money this gentleman allegedly gave Jose?
How much was it? It was multiple times, 50, 60.
Different times.
I would know more if it wasn't for Snapchat, honestly, to tell you the truth. I would know a lot more.
For hugs or?
Yeah, he said, I'll give you food if you come. Yeah, you send me pictures. And then he would say, I want you to feed my face to my oldest one that he murdered.
Thank you, guys.
You want to say one more? Just stay your name. Just stay your name.
Don't get too much.
My name is Alyssa Ferrer. Jose was my nephew. I just want to say he was taken from us way too soon, and he deserves to get justice. And everybody needs to be careful on who they let their kids talk to, because even me, I'm 19 years old and I don't talk to anybody, because people scare me because I know what people are capable of. We're supposed to look up to our elders and everything, but how are we supposed to do that if people want to sexually assault everybody else and take people from us? Like, you have to be sick, like, mentally, to take a child from somebody. Like, how can you do that? You have to be heartless to take somebody else's life. It's not up to you. You're not God. You shouldn't be able to play God. And I hope this man rots in jail. That's all I have to say.
Can you spell your first and last name, please?
Alyssaferrer.
Can you tell us a little bit about your cousin? Tell us the
It was my nephew.
He was a
He
great
was-
kid. He
we
wasn't a
were-
street kid.
Never
outside.
When my sister had him, I was 6 years old. So I would it was in Florida. I would always hold him as a baby. And we just got close, and we were on a first name basis. Like, he didn't call me Titi or Auntie. He called me Alyssa. We were really close. He was like a brother to me. He was my best friend. We would always go for walks up and down the street sometimes. He would come to me, we would talk about stuff. He would come to me when he was upset, if ever he got into a little argument with one of his siblings, and he would tell me, he's like, Alyssa, I don't want to do this. I don't want to argue with them. I don't want to get in trouble. And I was helping him fill out high school applications because he was in 8th grade. He was going to go into high school next year, but he was robbed of that chance by someone so heartless.
You okay?
I just want justice for Jose. Make sure whoever's accountable gets held accountable.
So as you guys all see, this is obviously, very, it's a tremendous amount of stress on the family right now. So let's respect their well wishes right now. This is an active investigation, as we said. There'll be more, obviously, to come. Let the detectives do their things right now, and we thank you for your time. Thank you, guys.
Scott, can we get a mugshot? Can we get a mugshot?